$1,500 a month. Deductible is going to go up from $800 to $6,000. His son came charging at me at the airport saying this could be a death sentence for my father. I didn't do this just to make healthcare an issue. I wanted relief for people like them, and we could have done that. Kevin Kiley, Michael Lawler have floated bills to say let's extend the tax credits for 1 year. We could have negotiated on eligibility. We didn't pursue any of those avenues. They didn't come, Senator Kaine or others, to the House and say, what are you doing? What is Sam Liccardo doing, a Democrat working with Republicans to try to come to a compromise?
But to the crux of this question, how do you actually get this resolved? There are people actively suffering right now. The lines at food banks were getting longer. Food assistance programs were in limbo. And I guess the question is, how long were you prepared to let that suffering go on, Congressman?
Well, it was cruel. As Representative Ocasio-Cortez said, I mean, this administration, Donald Trump, was giving $20 billion in a currency swap to a corrupt leader in Argentina instead of $9 billion, which would have funded SNAP the whole time. And some of us were saying we would have voted for Republican Josh Hawley's bill to extend SNAP benefits if Speaker Johnson just opened up the House. But you can't have a precedent where the president says he's going to do cruel things to the American people unless the Democrats fold. This was a moral moment. We can pay for SNAP in this country, and we can extend healthcare tax credits. We're the richest country in the world. My district has $18 trillion. And people are saying, what is going on with all this tech wealth? And we can't feed people and give people healthcare?
Let's talk about your call for Senator Schumer to step down. Some Democrats are rushing to his defense. You just heard Senator Kaine defend him. Senator Jeanne Shaheen also defended him. Here's what she had to say.
They need to train their fire on the people who are responsible. That's President Donald Trump, it's Speaker Johnson, and it's the Republicans who have blocked every attempt to get health care. We need to be working together.
Why do you think Leader Schumer is to blame, given that Republicans have control, as Jeanne Shaheen is saying, of the White House and both chambers of Congress?
Well, there's some things I agree with both of these senators. Senator Kaine said that Senator Schumer was terrific under President Biden, and he was. I worked with him on the CHIPS and Science Act. That would not have passed if it weren't for Senator Schumer's leadership. Same with the infrastructure bill and IRA. And Senator Shaheen is right that the biggest culprit is Donald Trump and Mike Johnson. The question is, what is the future of Democratic leadership? Who is going to be effective? And most Democrats around the country just don't think that person is Chuck Schumer. I mean, he doesn't inspire confidence. He's not bold. He's out of touch with the grassroots. He's someone who cheerled us into the war in Iraq. He doesn't have the moral clarity on Gaza. He couldn't say Mamdani's name. And this was the final straw where he was not strong on fighting for health care.
So who is the person who you think should lead Democrats into the future in the Senate? Who's at the top of that list for you, Congressman?
Well, Senator Kaine has already given me a hard time for just saying that their minority leader should be someone different. I think if I endorsed someone, it would probably hurt them more than help them. But we have dynamic, young, new leaders.
Who are some of the top
Chris
names?
Murphy is a top leader. Cory Booker is a dynamic leader. Brian Schatz is a dynamic leader. I mean, Elizabeth Warren, someone who's an ideology I appreciate. There are a lot of great talent. And really, is Chuck Schumer, when you think about it, just from a common sense test, do you think Democrats around the country think that Chuck Schumer should be the face of the future of the Democratic Party? Of course not. And I just said out loud what people are thinking in their own private thoughts. And you know what the Democrats need to do? We need to be more independent and truth-telling in this country and bold and not rest on niceties.
Well, I want to turn to the other big issue that you have been focused on, pushing for the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Your joint bill with Thomas Massie is going to come to a vote on the House floor. It's expected to this week. Do you think you have enough votes for it to pass?
We do, and there's nothing I have been prouder of or more meaningful than this work. The credit goes to the survivors. They're going to be at the Capitol on Tuesday in a press conference. Massie, myself, and Representative Green are doing. This was disgusting. Epstein had set up a rape island where rich and powerful men were abusing young girls with impunity. And there are thousands of victims, and rich and powerful men still have buildings named after them, scholarships named after them. This is not partisan. They all need to be held accountable. The Epstein class needs to go.
How many Republicans are going to join you? Could you have a veto-proof majority?
Well, I was hoping that, and then Donald Trump started to tweet out saying that he's going to unendorse people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. So it's basically Massey and me versus the White House. I mean, they're calling members to the Situation Room. But you know why Trump is losing his MAGA base on this? The reason he's losing it is he ran saying there's a corrupt governing elite that has shafted you. That this is the Epstein class was the forgotten Americans, and I'm going to stand up for forgotten Americans. He's forgotten those forgotten Americans. And we are saying that we are going to stand up for survivors, for America's kids, and we're going to hold this class accountable.
Very quickly, how many Republicans do you think will join you?
I'm hoping for 40 plus.
Okay. Look, in response to your effort to push this bill forward, President Trump this week called on the Justice Department to launch an investigation into some of the people who've been named related to Jeffrey Epstein, including in these recent emails. Bill Clinton, former Harvard president Larry Summers. Do you support this investigation, Congressman?
Look, I'm all for investigation wherever it leads in terms of whether it's Democrat or Republican, have accountability. My concern is that he is doing this to prevent a release of the files, because some people are saying that when you can say there's an active investigation, you don't have to release the files. So what I'm for is transparency. Release the files and then have the accountability for anyone, regardless of their party.
Let me ask you, this week the Democratic House Oversight Committee, which you're a part of, did release all of these emails from Mr. Epstein. In one of them, he said President Trump, quote, knew about the girls. The president's calling these emails a Democratic hoax. Republicans are saying that Democrats are just cherry picking these documents. Are Democrats trying to score political points against the president in this fight? Is that a part of it?
No, in fact, on Tuesday, what we're going to ask is for the president to meet with these survivors. If you gave me a choice, I'd rather the president reverse course. I'd rather he release all these files. Someone was saying that his numbers would go up. I don't care if he gets the political win. There is a group of rich and powerful men who abused young girls. It's the one thing this country agrees was horrible. I don't think we've had a scandal like this in this country. And what we're asking for is justice for those survivors. So it's not about Donald Trump. I don't even know how involved Trump was. There are a lot of other people who are involved who have to be held accountable.
You have said this is about justice, this is about transparency, and yet I want to play something that you said earlier this week. Get your reaction on the other side.
I'm hopeful that we may get 40, 50 Republicans voting with the Democrats. The first time something like that has happened since Donald Trump walked down the escalator. Some people say this could be the first day of him being a lame duck, the day that bill passes.
If this is about justice, what does that have to do with making President Trump a lame duck president?
Well, it's because of what Trump has done. I mean, I wish that Donald Trump could prevent that by actually releasing the files. But if he goes down this lane, where he is actually calling to unendorse people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, where he's threatening every Republican in MAGA, saying that if you support the Kana bill, you're not on my side, that he is sowing the seeds for his own lame duck presidency. He's out of touch with his own base. Don't ask me, just look at Rasmussen, People's Pundit. All these people who were on his side are now saying, you know, Mr. President, what happened to you? You ran against a corrupt system. You ran for forgotten Americans. You become part of the swamp that you railed against. And again, my hope is that if he listens today, I know you interview him all the time, that he says, okay, I'm going to meet these survivors. I'm going to get behind Massey Kana's bill. I really think that's the right thing to do, and it's good for him politically.
Well, we will track that press conference you're going to be holding this week. Congressman Ro Khanna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kristen.
Great to see you as always.